Okay, we'll start with your 160 Q&As. Your 160 Q&A number 1, you have Ralph Dent, Midnight Pass Road, Sarasota County, Siesta Key, Sandy, Stickney Point Road, Beechwood, Key, Florida, Volvo, Ford, and James Pratt. So this is your 160 Q&A number 1 for 5 minutes. Ready? Would you please state your name for the record?
Ralph Dent.
And what is your home address?
I live at 5564 Midnight Pass Road.
And that residence is here in Sarasota County?
Yes. Actually, it's on Siesta Key.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
What is your wife's name?
Her name is Sandy.
Now, as I understand it, you were involved in a motor vehicle accident in January of 2009. Is that correct?
Yes, it was January 21.
And where did the accident happen?
At the corner of Stickney Point Road and Beechwood.
And where is that?
It's just east of the bridge to Siesta Key.
Is that the South Bridge to the Key?
Yes, it is.
What time of the day or night did the accident happen?
It was about 6 p.m.
Was it dark out yet?
Yes, it was January, so it gets dark pretty early.
Even in Florida?
Even in Florida.
Where were you coming from?
My wife and I were going on our way home from work.
How did the accident happen?
The bridge to the Key was going up, so I stopped, and a car coming out of Beechwood slammed into the side of our car.
Is this a drawbridge?
Yes.
At the time of the impact, how fast were you traveling?
I was stopped.
And how fast would you estimate the other car was traveling?
I don't know.
Did you see the other car before the impact?
I saw a glimpse out of the corner of my eye just a second before the impact.
What was the speed of the other car?
I don't know.
Was there a lot of damage to your car?
Yes, sir.
How much was the repair bill?
Approximately $4,500.
Was the car towed from the scene of the accident?
Yes, sir.
Was anybody injured in this accident?
I was injured, but my wife was the most seriously injured.
Did the police arrive on the scene of the accident?
Almost immediately.
And did an ambulance arrive at the scene of the accident?
Yes. I had called an ambulance on my cell phone immediately when I saw my wife was injured.
How was your wife injured?
Well, I saw she was bleeding and appeared to be unconscious.
Did the other driver remain at the scene of the accident?
Well, he tried to back up and get away, but he was blocked in by other cars waiting for the bridge.
What happened next?
While I was calling the ambulance, the police arrived at the scene of the accident.
What kind of car were you driving?
I was driving a 2008 Volvo.
So it was a fairly new car?
Yes, it was purchased in December 2008, so it was a month old.
Do you remember what the other car looked like?
It was a Ford pickup truck.
Do you know the year or color?
The police report said it was a 1990 vehicle.
And what was the color of the car?
Well, blue with white areas and lots of rust spots.
Did you talk to the other driver at the scene of the accident?
No, I was too concerned about my wife.
How long did you remain at the scene of the accident?
Not long. I rode in the ambulance with my wife to the hospital.
Did you talk to any witnesses at the scene of the accident?
There were many witnesses. I talked to one.
Do you remember the name of that person?
Yes, James Pratt.
Do you remember what he told you?
Yes, he was in the other lane and was also slowing for the bridge.
Anything else?
He said he saw the defendant pull out of Beechwood and trying to turn right to go over the bridge.
Did he say anything else?
He said it looked like the guy was trying to beat the bridge.
Did you know what he meant by that?
Sure, there's a warning period to stop for the bridge, so some drivers try to beat it. It's like running a yellow light.
Please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the procedure for the bridge going up.
Okay, a siren sounds, bells ring, and red lights come on over the bridge.
So the bridge hasn't actually started to go up at this point?
No, a bar comes down blocking the roadway, and then the bridge starts going up.
So the witness thought the defendant was trying to beat that bar?
Yes.
Did he give you an estimate of how fast the defendant was traveling?
He just said he was going fast. He couldn't turn the corner in his lane and smashed right into my car.
Did the police? Okay, in your 160 number 2, you have Ann Bell, Ringling Boulevard, Sarasota, Ann, Lisa, Mark, Booker High School, Publix, Tuttle Avenue, Bahia Vista, Sarasota Memorial Hospital, Dodge, and Ford Taurus. This is your 160 Q&A number 2 for 5 minutes. Ready? State your name for the record, please.
Ann Bell,
What is your present address?
2345 Ringling Boulevard.
That's here in Sarasota, is that correct?
That's correct.
How long have you lived at that address?
I've lived there all my life.
And how old are you, Ann?
I'm 17.
You live with your parents, is that correct?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes, sir, I do.
What are their names and ages?
Lisa is 14 and Mark is 10.
So you are the oldest?
Yes, I am.
Are you in high school, Ann?
Yes, sir, I am.
What high school do you go to?
Booker High School.
Are you a junior?
Yes, sir, I am.
Are you in the performing arts program at Booker High?
Yes, sir, I am.
Are you a singer?
I do sing, but I also dance and am in drama.
So you would like to be an actress?
Yes, sir, but I'm going to college too.
Good for you. Do you work at all?
I work part-time at Publix.
Ann, I'm here to ask you some questions about an automobile accident.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember the date of the accident?
Yes, it was June 10, 2009.
What time did it happen?
It happened approximately 9:30 p.m.
What day of the week was that?
It was a Saturday.
Where were you coming from, Ann?
I was coming from work.
Had you just gotten off of work?
Yes, sir.
And where were you going?
I was going to my girlfriend's house.
Was anyone in the car with you?
No, sir, I was alone.
What street were you traveling on?
I was on Tuttle Avenue.
How fast were you going?
I was stopped at the time of impact.
Tell me how the accident happened.
I was stopped at the red light and the other car hit me in the rear end.
What light were you stopped at?
On Tuttle at the corner of Bahia Vista.
How long were you stopped at the light?
Just a couple of seconds.
Were there other cars stopped ahead of you?
No, sir.
Did you see the other car behind you before it hit you?
I saw a car coming up behind me.
How far away was he when you first saw him?
I don't know.
Did he have his headlights on?
I don't recall.
What happened to your car after the impact?
I was pushed into the intersection.
Then what happened?
A car coming on Bahia Vista hit the left front end of my car.
So you were hit by 2 cars?
Yes, sir.
Were you injured?
Yes, sir.
Did an ambulance come to the scene of the accident?
Yes, sir.
What hospital were you taken to?
Sarasota Memorial Hospital.
Did the police come to the scene of the accident?
Yes, there were several police cars at the scene of the accident.
What happened to your car?
It was totaled.
Where was it damaged?
In the rear end and the left front end of the car.
Was it towed from the scene of the accident?
Yes, the police towed it somewhere.
Was there damage to the car behind you?
I don't know. He left the scene of the accident.
The car that hit you in the rear left the scene of the accident?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember the make or color of the car?
It was a dark blue Dodge pickup truck.
And a man was driving the pickup?
Yes, sir.
Can you describe the man?
He had on a white t-shirt and his head was shaved.
Did you ever find out who he was?
Yes, sir. The police caught him as they were coming to the scene of the accident.
And that would be in the police report?
Yes, sir. He was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol.
Do you know if he was brought to trial?
Yes, sir, he was.
Do you know if he was convicted?
Yes, sir, he was.
What was the other car that hit you?
It was a white color.
Do you know the make of car?
It was a Ford Taurus.
So you left the scene of the accident in the ambulance?
Yes, I did.
What were your injuries?
My head was bleeding a lot.
Did your head hit something in the car?
My head hit the steering wheel very hard.
Were you wearing a seatbelt?
Yes, sir, I was.
Were you knocked out?
I don't think so, but I was in shock.
Were you put on a stretcher at the scene of the accident?
Yes, sir, I was.
Did the paramedics treat you at the scene of the accident?
Yes, sir, they stopped the bleeding.
Did? Okay, now for your 140s, your 140. Okay, your 140 Q&A number 1, you have Tony Grant, Civil Service, Baton Rouge, Mr. Prentice, Mr. Grant, Tom Baker, Francis Beverly, Bill Gates, Denise Brown, and Francis Benson. Okay, so this is your 140 Q&A number 1 for 5 minutes. Ready? If you had to drop to the next grade division and you have more than one person, it's necessary to interview all of those individuals in that grade group?
Correct, sir. You cannot just pick one out of that grade group. You have to interview them all.
As far as your knowledge, all of these people were interviewed?
Yes, they were. One young lady was not interviewed because of the fact that she did not respond. Well, she didn't show up for the interview is what happened.
Do you know any reason why Tony Grant did not receive his notice?
I don't exactly remember. I think he had the wrong address with civil service. We don't control what address they give to civil service. When you put that address on your application, that's the address that civil service goes with.
His notice was sent to whatever address?
Yeah, then I guess they had to forward it. I don't really exactly remember, but I know it was something with his address.
But he did put it in his application in time?
He came over and submitted it, and we interviewed.
That's because of your phone call?
Right. I thought it was a courtesy. He worked here.
After that, were there some problems encountered with the process from the perspective of what the Department of Civil Service in Baton Rouge did?
That came later. I'm going to get to that. I know what you're trying to get to.
In fact, I would rather hear it from you in chronological order without me pushing you forward.
That's what I tried to do for you, was to put it in the order that the events took place.
You go ahead and tell us.
So we did that. Then we sent a letter to hire Mr. Prentice. Of course, Mr. Prentice declined the offer. So they interviewed the people in the 8-9 grade group. Once they interviewed the people in the 89 grade group, that was the panel. Then they said they wanted to detail Mr. Grant to the position.
I think I follow. Go ahead.
In the meantime, when they were doing the detailing and paperwork was going through, one of the other firemen came to me and said to me that he didn't get a grade and that he put it in an application.
Who was that?
Tom Baker. He came in and said that he put in an application. He didn't know what happened, why he didn't get the grade. He met the minimum qualifications of the position. So in turn, I contacted civil service and talked to Francis Beverly.
Did Tom Baker show up on that list?
No, he did not, because he didn't have a division. So he did not show up on that list because he didn't have a division. If he would have had a division, he would have shown up on that list. So we forwarded this letter to Bill Gates that it's come to our attention that all candidates who submitted their applications in a timely manner were not given a grade.
Who is Bill Gates?
Bill Gates is the chief over the examining division in civil service of Baton Rouge. So what happened was, this is what I asked Francis to send me in regards to our conversation. What she told me was that there were some people that they had rejected their application in the first onset because of the fact that they weren't giving them experience for just basic fireman jobs. But somewhere in the process, they went back and decided to give them experience. So there were some people they had rejected that didn't have a grade, and they were just like had rejects.
I got you.
Then in the process, they went back and decided to give individuals credit retroactively for that experience. So there were some individuals that may have had that experience that didn't get a grade because they weren't given credit, and Tom was one of the individuals.
Denise Brown told you this?
No, Frances Benson. This is from her. I asked her to send me something in regards to our conversation, and she sent me this.
Okay, your 140 number 2, you have Ms. Eddington, Martha Beck, Marcia McCormick, Manuel Baca, Lila Eddington, Mrs. Garcia, Ms. Garcia, and Diane Reeves. So this is your 140 Q&A number 2 for 5 minutes. Ready? Did Martha say that she had spoken with Ms. Eddington?
Martha?
Martha Beck.
Yeah, no, she had not told me who she had spoken to.
But she told you if you had papers proving that you had the physical exam, that you were to take them to Marcia McCormick. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So did you sit through that continuing education class on diabetes?
Yes, I did.
Did you have any further discussions with Martha Beck that day or any time thereafter about you continuing in the program?
No, I don't believe so.
Did you return the following day to the clinical program?
That evening was the evening that Manuel Baca called me and requested a meeting with Lila Eddington and myself at 8:30 a.m. the next day.
And then after that meeting, did Ms. Eddington state that you could continue with the clinical program?
Until the next incident, yes.
And did you continue with the clinical program?
I believe that that was just before the weekend, and I don't think I continued with the clinical program then.
Any particular reason?
I felt like it was uncomfortable. I was having a very hard time. I was trying to catch up. I wasn't making it. Obviously, the teachers were talking about it, and the students had been talking about me missing clinical time. I felt that after further thinking about it, that not continuing the program was my only choice.
Did you decide to quit at that time?
I thought about it over the weekend and later did.
Did you ever return to any classes?
I had gone to one class in particular. I had gone to a few classes before I made the decision, and that's it.
Did you ever take any finals for those few classes? Did you ever take the final exams in those two classes?
Oh,
Or did you drop the class, in other words?
I had completed some classes in the nursing program and I had dropped. I had to withdraw out of the other classes.
Okay. In the complaint, it says that during a faculty meeting, it was discussed that you had almost passed out in one of Mrs. Garcia's classes. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do recall that. I was in my orthopedics class and I was sitting in before class in the classroom. The teacher had walked in and we were just all trying to get everything together before class started. I mentioned that I had bad breath and I wanted to find something to eat. And Ms. Garcia, I guess, picked up on me saying, "Does anybody have something to eat or to chew on, like a piece of gum or anything?" And nobody had anything. And a girl offered me a banana. I took the banana. And during class, I was eating the banana. Ms. Garcia asked me if I was feeling okay in the middle of class. She asked me if I needed to go to the nurse's office. I told her I was feeling fine. I just had bad breath and I wanted to eat something. And so actually, I don't even know if I told her that I had bad breath because I was kind of trying to keep it quiet. I was a little bit embarrassing. I just said that I wanted to eat something and I sat there during class and I ate the banana. Jokingly passed the banana to a friend, the banana peel after I ate it to a friend of mine and during class. Later, I found out through Diane Reeves, my boss, at a meeting that she had with Lila Eddington, that Lila Eddington had told her during a faculty meeting that Ms. Garcia had mentioned that I had almost passed out and I was feeling faint and I had to eat something. Someone offered me a banana and I didn't take it, which wasn't the case.
So Diane Reeves told you what was discussed at the faculty meeting?
Diane wasn't at the faculty meeting. She had told me that was part of a meeting that she had with Lila Eddington.
Was Lila at the faculty meeting?
I believe so. I wasn't there.
Well, Lila had told Diane Reeves what was discussed at the faculty meeting, right?
That's correct.
And then Diane told you?
That's correct.
Have you ever? Okay, that's it for your Q&As. Good luck. Type.